Welcome to Howard Brown Online Barber College. Today we are doing the review questions for effective presentations. The first question, when you send and receive information, you are communicating, conversing, listening, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. Our classrooms have a variety of cultures, including some students for whom English is a second language. When delivering lessons, use slang, everyone understands it. Speak as you normally would quickly is fine. Shout, as this helps remove the language barrier. Speak clearly and concisely. If you chose D, speak clearly and concisely, you are correct. CREATE is an acronym that stands for Consider, Research, Examples, Analyze, Teach. Create, research, edit, analog, teach. Contemplate, reproach, examine, apply, teach. Change, respect, examine, analyze, topics. If you chose A, consider, research, examples, analyze, teach, you are correct. With consideration of the topic in mind, the educator will determine how much time will be needed for the presentation, the physical environment in which the lesson will be presented, how much prior knowledge the students may already have about the topic. D, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. Since the Master Educator is considered a subject matter expert in every category within a program, it would be appropriate to deliver the lesson from memory, use lesson plans that have not been updated, research each topic, interject humor that may not address the lesson. If you chose C, research each topic, you are correct. By citing examples for clarification, the Master Educator will bring clarity and meaning to the points delivered without being misunderstood by anyone, making inappropriate remarks, conducting himself improperly. D, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. Watching the students as the educator prepares for the classroom presentation and making mental notes on their reactions and body language can be best described as analyze your learners, stop, camera, action, snap, crackle, pop, analysis 101. If you chose A, analyze your learners, you are correct. Because master educators must present themselves before classes each day, it is important to teach with poise, wear fashionable heels, wear trendy makeup, show up in the best car on the lot. If you chose A, teach with poise, you are correct. When speaking, the Master Educator will give thought to rate, pitch, tone, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. To have credibility with the students, the Master Educator must convey poise, confidence, self-assurance, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. Educators who enter the classroom with enthusiasm will meet with enthusiastic students, be exhausted at the end of the day, make students nervous, eventually lose their enthusiasm. If you chose A, meet with enthusiastic students, you are correct. Master educators who are thoroughly prepared prior to entering the classroom will be tense and nervous, be relaxed and enjoy the students, have control issues, be insecure. If you chose B, be relaxed and enjoy the students, you are correct. To build a lasting impression on learners, master educators will enter the classroom with firmness and resolve, be determined to get the objective across to their students in the manner of a drill sergeant, believe in what they are saying, and be enthusiastic. None of the above. If you chose C, believe in what they are saying and be enthusiastic, you are correct. The mnemonic that assists the master educator in preparing a dynamic lesson is build, frame, shape, create. If you chose D, create, you are correct. When the students are not ready to receive the message the educator is sending, the educator should apply discipline, end the class, tune in to WII-FM, what's in it for me, assign busy work. If you chose C, tune in to WII-FM, what's in it for me, you are correct. The need to feel a certain degree of control or mastery over others is the need for financial security, pride and importance, approval and recognition, personal power. If you chose D, personal power, you are correct. People need to enjoy ego gratification and a feeling of importance. This is called the need for approval and recognition, pride and importance, personal power, desire to win. If you chose B, pride and importance, you are correct. Our need for the opportunity to express our creativity and feel that we have contributed something worthwhile is the need for, is it accomplishment and creative expression, pride and importance, approval and recognition, self-esteem, love, and emotional security. If you chose A, accomplishment and creative expression, you are correct. Our need to experience love in all forms, be emotionally secure, and respect ourselves is the need for sense of belonging, pride and importance, approval and recognition, self-esteem, love, and emotional security. If you chose D, self-esteem, love, and emotional security, you are correct. When educators make themselves available to students early in the day, during breaks, and after class, they should ask for more pay, waste valuable time, establish strong personal contact, should be home. If you chose C, establish strong personal contact, you are correct. By being aware of the classroom environment and the student's comfort, varying the stimuli, using partially completed handouts, and encouraging questions in class, master educators are getting the learners in an active learning mood, making too much work for themselves, making the learners anxious and upset over all they must accomplish, making other educators in the school look bad. If you chose A, getting the learners in an active learning mood, you are correct. Personal anecdotes interjected in the presentation will build rapport with the learners, support the content, humanize the content, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. Avoid giving any criticism to any student at any time, without a witness, in public, in an empty classroom. If you chose C, in public, you are correct. Some students feel embarrassed about asking questions. Thus, the Master Educator will address incorrect responses from students in a manner that does not humiliate the students and will embarrass them. Cause them to think before asking another question. Encourage questions and feedback, all of the above. If you chose C, encourage questions and feedback, you are correct. Learning to measure where the learners are and where they would like to be is encouraging. Personal competition, frustration, anxiety attacks, tension. If you chose A, personal competition, you are correct. Identifying long-term benefits and stressing the value of internal motives will assist learners in mastering information and skills being presented, discourage learners from searching for their own motivation, allow learners to realize how long the educational process can be, solidify the bond between learner and educator. If you chose A, assist learners in mastering information and skills being presented, you are correct. By supporting students' interaction in the classroom, educators have expanded a lifelong network of clubs, interpersonal relationships, partners, none of the above. If you chose B, interpersonal relationships, you are correct. When developing activities for learners, the Master Educator will offer choices in order to confuse the learners, make the learners feel they have control, make the learners feel the educator is indecisive, cause anxiety in the learners. If you chose B, make the learners feel they have control, you are correct. Our overall appearance, our facial expressions, body language, posture, and gestures represents 7% of the message we are delivering to our learners, represents 38% of the message we are delivering to our learners, represents 45% of the message we are delivering to our learners, represent 55% of the message we are delivering to our learners. If you chose D, represent 55% of the message we are delivering to our learners, you are correct. To challenge learners, the Master Educator will be unenthusiastic, animated, dull, disinterested. If you chose B, animated, you are correct. When delivering a presentation, the Master Educator will be sincere and focus on the learners, put the focus on the educator, worry about the presentation, be concerned with the teaching strategy. If you chose A, be sincere and focus on the learners, you are correct. To convey sincerity and interest throughout the presentation, the educator should gaze at the walls, maintain eye contact with all learners throughout the presentation, stare at one student throughout the presentation, constantly look at the clock. If you chose B, maintain eye contact with all learners throughout the presentation, you are correct. Learners like to know what is in store for them. Thus, the Master Educator will not preview the lesson, give a review at the end of the day, give students a general overview of the day's lesson at the beginning, tell only those who ask. If you chose C, give students a general overview of the day's lesson at the beginning, you are correct. You convey visual integrity through your articulation, vocabulary, and high-order thinking skills, verbal skills, appearance, facial expressions, posture, and body language. If you chose D, appearance, facial expressions, posture, and body language, you are correct. The way you speak your message will impact your students. So to have a positive outcome, speak clearly, speak pleasantly, speak without any affectations, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. Being able to speak clearly, distinctly, and in a manner in which everyone can understand is called distinction, articulation, pitch, tonality. If you chose B, articulation, you are correct. When each sentence ensures a pleasant and friendly sound, we are varying the tone, pace, articulation, pitch. If you chose D, pitch, you are correct. When stating key words that are important to the lesson, use emphasis, a loud voice, a quiet voice so students have to strain to hear, none of the above. If you chose A, emphasis, you are correct. Facial expressions often give a different quality to the meaning of your words. This is called tone, pace, articulation, emphasis. If you chose A, tone, you are correct. The vocabulary the Master Educator uses must be appropriate for the learning level of the students, be pronounced properly, not be condescending, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. Master educators will use powerful openings to establish and maintain a sincere rapport with the learner. They will use the first 35 minutes to inform and excite the learners, 25 minutes to inform and excite the learners, 15 minutes to inform and excite the learners, 5 minutes to inform and excite the learners. If you chose C, 15 minutes to inform and excite the learners, you are correct. The structure the educator might use in a situation that has caused a problem or concern is it chronological structure, problem solution structure, spatial structure, topical structure. If you chose B, problem solution structure, you are correct. The structure that the educator would find appropriate when presenting the evolution of a service is it chronological structure, problem solution structure, topical structure, theory and practice structure. If you chose A, chronological structure, you are correct. The qualitative structure that allows you to list your points in the order of significance, with the most important discussed at the beginning of the lesson when the learner's attention is sharpest, is called topical, problem solution, spatial, none of the above. If you chose A, topical, you are correct. The structure that an educator might find helpful to begin an overview of general subject matter and progress to the specific or vice versa is the topical structure, chronological structure, problem solution structure, spatial structure. If you chose D, spatial structure, you are correct. The structure the educator uses to outline the theory of any given subject and then demonstrate how it works in practice is the spatial structure, theory practice structure, topical structure, problem solution structure. If you chose B, theory practice structure, you are correct. To add credibility to presentations, include information from direct observation, quoted statistical information, verifiable sources, all of the choices. If you chose D, all of the choices, you are correct. Providing analogies to learners will give the students something to think about, make a concept more understandable, allow students to develop higher level thinking skills, none of the above. If you chose B, make a concept more understandable, you are correct. The part of the lesson that includes a summary, restatement of key points, and performance of the learner is the opening, closing, body, none of the above. If you chose C, body, you are correct. Closing the lesson with a powerful punch is achieved with humor and poems, anecdotes, assessment and evaluation, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. The technique that master educators use to shift from one activity to another is called transition, shift, turnover, none of the above. If you chose A, transition, you are correct. A powerful strategy to move from one activity to another is to use a pause and then move on, use silence and then move to the next activity, stand quietly for a moment, indicating the next activity is ready to begin, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. Instructing learners to think about the material that has been presented and formulating questions is a helpful review as well as a problem for some learners, a time waster, a transition into the next part of the lesson, disruptive. If you chose C, a transition into the next part of the lesson, you are correct. Adult learners can listen with understanding for 90 minutes, 70 minutes, 50 minutes, 20 minutes. If you chose A, 90 minutes, you are correct. Learners can only listen with retention of the information for, is it 90 minutes, 70 minutes, 50 minutes, or 20 minutes? If you chose D, 20 minutes, you are correct. The Master Educator will vary the stimuli every, is it 90 minutes, 70 minutes, 20 minutes, or 15 minutes? If you chose C, 20 minutes, you are correct. The Master Educator will use gestures to lend emphasis, clarify meaning, help reveal the educator's attitudes, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. An energizer is an activity that gives learners a mental break, keeps them focused, and lasts 1 to 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, 8 to 11 minutes. If you chose A, 1 to 3 minutes, you are correct. The Master Educator will plan suitable questions during the classroom presentation, prior to the classroom presentation, while waiting for the students to ask them, all of the above. If you chose B, prior to the classroom presentation, you are correct. Master Educators will formulate questions that are simple, are to the point, make logical transitions between questions, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. The blank questioning technique requires short answers. Is it low order, high order, no order, center order? If you chose A, low order, you are correct. Research shows that higher level questioning may lead to improved achievement for learners who have the following abilities: comprehension, data analysis, information synthesis, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. A method for questioning would be direct questioning, indirect questioning, sinusoidal questioning, sporadic questioning. If you chose A, direct questioning, you are correct. When the educator questions a specific student and then asks another student to comment on the first student's response, the educator is using group questioning, direct questioning, indirect questioning, redirect questioning. If you chose D, redirect questioning, you are correct. Effective listening is an important part of answering questions. The Master Educator will listen to the emotion behind the question and be responsive to all questions, restate the question for clarity, verify that the questioner has been satisfied by the answer, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. This concludes this review. If you'd like more classes that Howard Brown Online Barber College have available, please visit our website at howardbrownonline.com. Now remember that barbering starts in the book. Have a great day.